Welcome to Motivational Monday.
Yo, what's going on? It's Hilarious D, also known as the Resident Clown.
Hey, this is Bill, otherwise known as Bill 76ers fan.
OG.
Triple OG, double OG. Who we got next?
OG triple.
Yeah, this is Dre, aka Dre Shaw.
Yo, it's Herb, a.k.a. Skizzle Be Blind.
Skizzle. It's me, Dominic.
What's up? It's Daniel, Rolling Blind.
We're talking about gun violence today, and gang violence. I thought about this today, and it I don't know, it made me think about a lot, and I guess it's a really good segue into what we're about to talk about today. I'm sure everybody is aware of what happened, was it last week? With the Buffalo, New York shooting. The last I heard, there were 4 people that were killed in a Buffalo, New York supermarket because of gun violence. But it's sad enough within itself. But the part that I thought that tied into what we were talking about today is that a news article that I read is that we are now 20 weeks into 2022 and have had a total of 198 mass shootings so far just this year.
Damn.
Ready?
100. I want to repeat that. We are now 20 weeks into 2022, and according to this news article, we have officially had 198 mass shootings that have taken place within this country.
Now, when you say 198, is that 198 separate shootings?
Separate shooting instances, correct.
Whoa.
Now, keep in mind, I want to clarify, a mass shooting does not need to be millions and millions of people who were killed.
Right.
In this instance, at this shooting that took place within Buffalo, New York, only 10 people were, unless the number has gone up. The last I heard, only 10 people were pronounced dead, and I don't know if they're still finding.
I heard it was 13, but 10 people of color.
Oh, okay, but then maybe that's the difference. But so again, but even with a number like that, I think a lot of times when you hear mass shooting, you think hundreds, or at least 40, 50, hundreds, thousands of people. And in this instance, it was only, in the teens. So I just wanted to say that just to let that sink in. And I think that it's important that we also realize that regardless of what side you're on or what your beliefs are, that this is obviously a problem that I think needs to be addressed.
And Dom, what Bill just said about that color, they said on his gun it did have, the N-word.
I don't even know if I can remember 198 mass killings. I can't even remember that many.
Wait, is that like only in the U.S., right?
According to them, and I'm going to make sure I put out, and if I can find it, I'm going to go back. I don't know if those of you who use the Newsbreak article app, but the Newsbreak article popped up in that app. I'm going to see if I can go back and find it, and if I can, I will actually forward it and try to put it in the comments, and then I'll forward it to you fellas as well, so you guys can read it as well to see and cite the resources that they use to be able to come to that number. 198.
Boy. Jesus.
We still got, 7 months to go?
Yeah, wow.
Fire.
That's crazy.
Ooh.
So,
USA, I gotta stand. That's what that is.
So again, I don't want to make it into a race thing, which is why I didn't bring that up. I feel like that's when things start to get a little shaky and people start to go a little bit all over the place, especially on an app like this. People get to get in their feelings. So if you guys want to go there, I don't plan on going there because I ain't trying to argue with nobody. It is what it is. So that's why I said, if nothing else, regardless of what side you stand on or what you believe or whatever, I think we can all come to the agreement that gun violence and gang violence definitely is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Right.
I mean,
Agreed. How can you not look at it as a racial thing? I mean,
no.
Huh?
No. You're right. It was, he even put in his manifesto how he felt about people of color.
Yeah.
But the point that I was making, though, is that, especially on this TikTok Live, because I definitely don't want to make it about that, because this is definitely supposed to be Motivational Monday. My thing is that I didn't want to have to go to that particular... Now, if you guys want to, that's cool, and I'll step back, but I just feel like, that's supposed to be motivating people. I just didn't want to dwell on and get on at such a like that.
But Dom, the other thing is, of course, it was a racially motivated attack, because that's the reason he picked the venue that he picked, because it was in a predominantly black neighborhood. So that's why he picked that grocery store that he picked.
Correct. So again, I want to reiterate before we press on. I want to reiterate. I definitely do agree with y'all that it was definitely racially motivated. But I'm just from my perspective, I'm just trying to keep it about motivation as opposed to
understood.
So,
I mean, for me, I go ahead, Don.
No, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, for me, for my opening statements, I just think that when we speak about, hopefully not stepping on any questions that you may have, Don, that when we have situations like this, obviously it's something going on mentally or some type of trauma that these people have suffered and why they're doing stuff like this. Not making excuses, just saying it's a bigger picture than what it is.
You're right.
So with that being said, like you said, we're supposed to be talking about
gang
and gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, well, let me say from my perspective, I know that there are two, and I hope I'm safe for saying this. There's actually two members in here in the Blindtitans who have experienced gun violence and gang violence and have been a part of different gang affiliations at the same token as well. If you guys want to go into detail as far as what you have done and who and all of that, that's on you. But I definitely think that, well, let me say my questions are going to be more geared towards the two of you. That's Daniel and Andre, for those people. Just simply because you've been on that side of the fence. As far as I'm aware, I don't know of anybody else. If I'm misstepping, then let me know. But I don't know anybody, at least, who's been public about living that life at some point in time in their life. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay. So is that okay if I address you, Daniel, and you, Bill? I'm not Bill, not Daniel. Daniel and you, Dre, as well?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm cool.
Well, I'll start off with you first, Dan. I know that you spoke a lot about your experience of how you lost your sight and how you ended up in your wheelchair and exactly how all of that was correlated. So I guess for those who don't know, can you just go ahead and give like a brief kind of, Reader Digest version of what happened?
Well, of course, at a young age, I was involved with gangs, and of course, even though when I stopped being affiliated with gangs and I was about to move out of state, I got shot on my face with a shotgun. I lost my vision completely at first. Then I got a surgery, and my right eye, I gained a little bit of vision, and my left one is completely gone. And of course, I got shot because, being affiliated with gangs. The second one, I would say to me it's more of gun safety, because, the second one, me getting shot 2 years after the first, I got shot on the neck, with the gun and with the handgun, and I ended up, being in a wheelchair, but that one wasn't gang related. So that's why I see it more as, gun safety, and the other one, gang related.
Okay.
Okay. Just really quick, Nasipo said, "Sup, y'all."
What it do, Nasipo?
And even for the rest of you guys who are involved in here too, if you guys got any questions, jump on in. Switching it over to Dre. what has been your involvement up to this point as far as living that type of life?
I mean, just like Dan said, when I was younger, I was feeling, just running around, doing crazy stuff, in and out of jail, in and out of juvenile detention. Just, being young and dumb, man. That's all I can say.
Okay. So, I think, well, let me ask this first off. Being somebody who really doesn't know a lot about it and not really having, being knowledgeable about how the process works. How do you get started, or how do you get immersed in that world? Like, how did you become a part of that?
It's all about the people you hang out with, who you share yourself with. It's easy to fall into. That's all I can say, man. You be in the right place, right time.
Like Dre said, because people say, oh, depending if you were raised in the hood and all this and that, right? But to be honest, I don't agree with that, because I got a lot of homies that they grew up in the hood and they didn't get involved with gangs,
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's more with the people that you hang out with and affiliate with, because of course, even though those who were my homies, they'll stay on their side and we were on this side, But I would say when you start kicking it with them, and then of course you get more involved, and that's when you start saying that you want to be part of it. Rather, you put in work, and then they jump you in the hood.
I'm gonna get jumped in the hood.
So Velma says hello everyone, and Gia says hello everyone.
Hello, Velma and Gia. What do you do? What's poppin'?
How you doing?
Hey, boo.
Okay, so my question would be basically, after the initiation process, and Dan, you mentioned putting in work. After you get initiated, do you still put in the same work, or are you then given certain assignments or tasks to carry out?
Well, I don't know on Dre's side, but on this side, I guess just keep doing what you're doing, and represent the hood, and take care of the hood. Look over there where I was from, it was called El Cuadro, the square,
Right.
That's your hood. You don't let nobody come in. Nobody repping a different hood or be tagging on the walls and stuff. If you come through, you blow them back out.
Dang.
It's no difference on either side. It sounds like both sides are the same. So you gotta put in work and keep what you did up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all you gotta represent, man. It's one thing that's real serious, and it's loyalty, man, and respect, man. So you gotta have that.
So, I got a question for y'all. Well, you two. How did y'all, how was y'all introduced to, getting in there? What did it take to get in there? Dan, how you say y'all got jumped in? Or...
Well, I could tell you about that, but to put in work, I don't think that's a good idea to talk about.
Right.
No, not that.
Yeah, but getting jumped in, I think it depends on the hood. Because, with the certain hood, there was one that jumps you for, 13 seconds. The one I was in, it was for 21 seconds.
Dang.
And it's whoever is right there, that you say there's 4 or 5 or even 10 guys, they all will jump you.
And you can't fight back, right?
You could try, but I don't recommend it.
You can try.
By the time you hit one, you already got hit like 5 times.
By the time you think about hitting one,
right?
Jeez.
But, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying it ain't hard to get into, man. It depends on your mindset, man. What mindset you in, it ain't hard to get into, man.
So Dre and Daniel Velma says thanks for sharing to because it could help people in the same in that position.
Yeah.
Angie said, "Hey guys, before you start, sorry.
What's up,
Hello.
What's up, Andy?
Well, that is not right, Chris.
Hello.
What were you asked though?
So, and I guess this question goes out to everybody. Currently, as we speak right now, and you have to get specifics if you don't want to, and like I said, it goes out to everybody. Do you either personally own, have access to, or illegally have a gun? I said you don't need to give specifics, just answer yes or no.
No.
No. And that's everybody.
No.
To be truthful, I just thought about today purchasing a gun.
Okay.
There's no translation for that though.
Okay. Christian, right?
No, I say no, but I'm like Bill. I won't get one.
I mean, I've been thinking about it for a couple of years now. I just haven't done it.
Well, I know where a gun is located, so that's all I'm saying.
And I think it goes back to what you guys were saying earlier, and to kind of piggyback off of where the conversation was kind of going from that point. I'm assuming at some point in time, the both of you, and again, without saying or going into too much great detail, have, during your duration while in a game, have held, used, or been around some type of firearm. Is that safe to say?
Most definitely, you know.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So that was what's geared towards.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, that's you too, Christian.
My bad.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I told you 58 cuz.
So I think the issue for me that me personally that I want to touch on is that, and I feel like the best way to just say it is just to come on out and say it. Being prior gang members, do you feel like there is a gang issue here in the United States? If so, or if not, yes, why?
Most definitely, man. Like, it's why? Because everybody ain't gonna get along, man. Everybody don't get along. It's gonna always be like this, man. Like, everybody's not gonna. If everybody you try to get along, somebody ain't gonna like somebody. So basically, it's all about hate, jealousy. You know, that's gonna always be around, man. So I feel like gangs will always be around.
Yeah, I agree with Dre. I feel right here in the U.S., not only in the U.S., I would say everywhere, there's a big, gang problem, Of course, it will be hard to, take all the gangs down because, when some of the, people get locked up or die or rather get deported, they're Hispanic or that, or grow up, you know what I mean? The new, I guess become peewees, come in, and it feels like a loop. It never ends,
Yeah, next man up.
Uh-huh.
So, and I actually had somebody to tell me at one point in time, and I guess this might apply to the two of you as well, who was actually a part of a gang as well, but that said that essentially because he was a part of a gang, by default, that meant that his kids were going to be a part of the gang, regardless of what they wanted to be, school teacher, veterinarian, doctor, scientist, regardless of whatever the case was, because he was in it, by default, his kids had to be in it. Is that the case?
That's not the case, man.
Wow.
To me, that's not the case at all.
That's something new right there.
I feel I might be wrong, that's a more old school gangster mentality, you know.
Okay. Okay. Well, and maybe, Bill, this question might be a little bit better geared towards you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I feel like at some point in time, the tide changed. Now, my father was actually a part of a gang, more like a neighborhood gang, if I can really don't truly be honest. But I know that, like in the past, gangs, from what they were always told to me, were more like neighborhood. You know, we people got together, they protect the neighborhood, kind of like what Dan said earlier. You don't let anybody come in and disrespect or stuff like that. But there was also a lot of positivity that was connected to the gang as well. You know, they helped out the elderly. They, you know, did benefits and stuff like that. So it wasn't just negative. In your personal opinion, when do you think things took a shift?
Yeah, I think that's true. Back in the 70s to the mid 80s, that was the thing that was going on. It was neighborhood gangs, and like you said, it wasn't always negative. It's some positive.
So, I don't know if you're done, Bill. You done, Bill?
No, I just got to look at that. In
Go ahead.
the mid 80s to all of the 90s, it was the worst time I've ever thought in my life. And if you want to get some kind of history or get a feeling of what it was, watch the movie New Jack City or Boys to the Hood. I mean, the crazy shootouts. I mean, for no apparent reason. Just shoot. They'll kill you for no reason. It was just bad, and I mean, it was just bad.
Hey, Bill, I was gonna say they do that here.
Huh?
So,
I was gonna say they do that here for no reason.
So I also have a little bit to add. So to answer Dom's question about when do you think it took a change, I think it took a change when, because it's been said that the record label execs or the people who own the record labels, they were also trying to, people who own private prisons were in cahoots with the record labels and getting the artists to rap more about, you know, the gun violence and gangs and all of that stuff, to push that music so that everybody else would start thinking that being a criminal and doing all of that stuff is the good thing to do, so that they could eventually arrest people to fill the private prisons. So I think that also had an impact on the gun violence and gangs and all that kind of stuff also.
Well, then I think maybe this might also be geared to all of you as well then. And again, if I skip anybody, I'm just going around in a circle. So if I skip you, just, jump on in. I'm not doing it on purpose, charge it to my head and not my heart.
Hey, Dominic, let me just step in for a second. Irv.
Yes.
You know who's the biggest private prison owner?
Not really.
Michael Jordan.
Oh my God.
I did not know that.
I
Yes.
did
I did not know that.
Yep.
And y'all buying these Jordans around here.
Man. Oh my God. And that's why I don't buy them, and I didn't even know that.
Oh, I have never had a pair of Jordans, bro. I've never had a pair of Jordans.
But neither have I. No, I have it, but it's what it is. But no, so my question was, and again, like I said, anybody wants to jump in can jump on in and say something. Hearing what you're saying, I'm assuming the youngest person here is what, 30?
Yeah.
Velma said gangs in her area changed in the 1990s.
Right. Well, the reason why I'm asking that is because I feel like at least on some level we're kind of around that time. So I would think, I'm just asking you each personally, do you think that like when Bill said there was an uptake in the 80s and the 90s or that particular era, do you think things are worse now? Because when Bill, at least from my perspective, when Bill described it and said, people were shooting for no reason and all of that, to me that sounds very similar to what's taking place now.
No.
So, do you think that it's the same? Do you think that it's different, more, worse? I mean,
So, for me, I think it's the same and it's different. And the reason I think it's the same, because it's still it's still gun violence and stuff like that. But I think the difference now is it's just not like gangs, it's anybody. It's like any kid like 15, 16, 17, they feel like they have something to prove. And like, how I feel like back in the day, people would fist fight. Now that is a foreign art.
I agree.
Like people don't use fists no more. They don't even attempt to fight no more. Because before it used to be fighting and that be it. Then it turned to fighting, and then if I lose, I'm going to go get a gun. Now it's I ain't even trying to fight. I'm going to just shoot you first.
Correct, though.
Yeah, that's true because, back in the day, I would say like 90s, early 2000s. I feel like in the, around the mid 2000s, that's when everybody started more with the guns, And nowadays, like I said, I don't know much about out there, but what I've heard is I feel now it's so easy to get a gun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now any kind of kid can have a gun and you don't even know.
18.
Now even when you're out, when you're in the streets, you gotta be careful with starting beef with people because you could think I'm about to fight this fool, and this fool just pulls out his gun because anybody can carry it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think it's kind of torn because I think it's still the same, but the difference lies basically where Herb started. Like back in the day, you were just fighting. You had a name, you wore a certain outfit, jacket, hat, whatever, and y'all used to just fight in random neighborhood or in different neighborhoods. Then when you talk about the music aspect versus past and present, like gang members wasn't trying to get into music back then because they already knew they said something on the microphone, they could possibly go to jail. Now, you talk about the younger rappers, everybody that comes out is in the gang and whatnot. And I think that's where it lies, honestly, is that it's being promoted more. Like, record labels is like, oh, well, hey, you can appeal to the people that is out on the street, so you're going to sell us some records one way or another and whatnot. So that's the way I stand there with it. This is more.
I would definitely say, although I agree with you, I think that a lot of, and whoever's listening, I think you all need to really, truly pay attention to what is being pushed to you and how it's being pushed. A lot of times, some of the stuff that we are being fed on a daily, that is not the way that it is. I've seen a lot of people stop looking at television, stop listening to this music, stop watching these movies, and truly feel like these people are living like this.
Hey, I'm gonna let you know though.
One more thing you missed is these video games that they're giving these kids too.
Hey, I was just finna go there. I was like, all these games, all these teenagers listen to this music, telling them they're trying to be too cool. So when they listen to this music, what they telling them to do? Oh, I'm finna go do this to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about here in Memphis. I'm talking about it. I think it's more teenagers in 201 Popular than grown-ups.
Right.
Cause like two teenagers like just went to jail from killing this dude. He was taking the garbage out at work. I'm talking about these folks just reckless out here.
Go ahead, Don.
My point with that though was just to say that again, I think it's a two-way street. I think that the people who are listening to the material or watching the material also need to learn that these people who they're trying to emulate or these images that they're seeing on TV, that's a lot of times the people who are portraying them images ain't even living like that.
Right.
So it's one thing, for you to try to you're trying to imitate like what they say, life imitates art or art imitates life, or however you phrase it. But you're trying to imitate something that essentially is, what does it look like?
It's an imitation.
Again, at least again, I'm not trying to call nobody out, but and I think maybe Dre and Daniel can attest to this. There's a lot of people out there, again, like we said, in movies, TV, media, music, and all of that, who claim to represent something, but truly have never done or represented or been a part of some of the things that they claim that they have.
Right.
And so I think, and essentially, us as viewers of this media need to be able to decipher between what is reality and what is fiction. But then at the same token, those who are creating the media also need to take responsibility for the imagery that they're putting out there. And I think until that also takes place, then again, we're going to continue to go down this downward spiral, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
With two of you being two prior, members, Dre and Daniel, in your opinion, what solution do you feel like would be a cause to an end of everything that is taking place, in your personal opinion, with gun violence and gang violence?
Honestly, I don't really see a solution, because if you take the guns away from people, you got to take guns away from cops. Cops is the main contributor to gun violence too.
Yes, sir.
I really don't see a solution right now, but maybe one in the future.
And to answer your question, Dom, I'm with Dre. Like, there's nothing we could do. I've thought about it. Like, why would we change? Nothing. Like, taking the guns away makes no difference. Of course, we'll probably get back to, fighting, or knives and stuff like that, like back in the day. You know what I mean? I feel none of that will end. And what is it called? Like, people are always gonna. I would say, I don't know. It might be like a crazy idea, like I said. I remember when I was a kid, when they would go, talk to us about, drugs or drinking or smoking. Like people would go out there. Of course, I don't think you could help everybody, but maybe out of the 30 people in the room, you could help a couple kids if you go and, tell them about your story and what you've been through, being in the gang and all that. You know what I mean? I don't remember ever seeing that in schools. I don't know if you guys did, but I never saw anything like that.
Personally, in school, no. I mean, I did work at a prison in a medical facility, and I don't know how many of you guys have actually seen Scared Straight. I do know that is still a prison that they still do. Or at least at that particular prison they did.
Is that show real, though?
Yeah, it's real.
Scared Straight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
Just to say, Daniel,
Huh?
it's definitely real, because I went on one. It wasn't for me, but there was a kid that wasn't doing what he's supposed to do, and we went to Scare Straight. Man,
My mom was gonna take us.
I
me
was
and Quincy.
scared so straight. No sense of, they wasn't even talking to me. But man, they brought into this guy. He was in jail doing like 3 life sentences for killing cops during an armored car robbery, and I'm not joking. He stood almost 7 feet tall, almost 400 pounds. Oh my God! He came. He stood right in front of me, and he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to the kid that I brought, and the kid was slouching. Now I'm sitting up straight and tall. The kid was slouching, and Scooby screamed out, "Sit the blank up!" Oh my gosh! I almost broke my back trying to sit as straight as possible, man. It's definitely a real thing.
Oh, that's crazy. To be honest, I didn't think it was real, because you know how they put a lot, stuff that looks real, but it's just, for show, for entertainment.
I mean, it's entertainment. Yeah, it is, but it's like real.
At our particular prison, they did it at ours because we actually housed mental health inmates. That really kind of also, I think, I don't know if it worked or not, but in a lot of the juvenile facilities that were in the area, they would bring kids around, I guess, to kind of interact. Obviously, there was a certain degree of, protection that we had to have, because again, they're dealing with mental health inmates. But like Bill said, it was definitely like that, if not worse.
All right, my question is, okay, let's just say, okay, it is real. But do you think it was okay? Of course, the kids are being bad and everything. For the first option, let's just, of course, the parents are gonna talk to them and all that. After they don't listen, they take them to that show. Do you think it's better to, have the kids talk to somebody first out here before you try and take them to Scare Straight? You know what I mean?
I think before they do that, they've already done all of the other things
all they
that
could.
they could.
Yeah.
But see, and again, like I said, I don't know how frequently they do it now. My issue with Scared Straight right now, though, is that I think from, I guess maybe I should have answered this when I asked the question. I think the difference now with a lot of people, and particularly the youth, as we were talking about it earlier, is that back in the day, or at least when I was younger, you could act up, but it was always that fear of going to jail. That was the ultimate. You just didn't want to go to jail or prison. Like, that was the one that was going to essentially, like the show says, scare you straight. Mm-hmm. I think now you're starting to see more youth, and more people not afraid to go to jail and prison.
Yeah.
So I gotta go ahead now.
So now the one sole thing that essentially was used to kind of make sure people got straight can't be used now, because in many instances I think there's a lot of people who feel like they get credit or get bonus points or street cred by being able to say that they've done time or gone in and so it's almost like the one thing that you thought was, it's almost like if you whoop your child but your child enjoys to be whooped, it's almost like, okay, well, I can't use this no more because they enjoy being whooped.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a question. This going to everybody. How many times have any of y'all been locked up?
0.
0?
Me, I don't say 1. Wait, like locked up or just locked up?
You went to prison, juvenile, whatever.
I want to say 3 times. Well, and Shanice said that she's gonna take her kid to Scare Straight.
She said
she said she needs to. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, 3 times, and then of course I've been arrested a couple times. But they just took me to the, what is it called? To the station.
Yeah, the station. Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't been locked up at all.
Yeah, me neither. Only time I've been locked up was for fighting in school.
So you been locked up?
I'm lucky to say
what
that.
What about you, Dre?
I don't think he's in there.
Oh.
I'm lucky to say that I've never felt the cold steel on my wrist. Never. That's not to say I didn't deserve it, but I've never felt it.
Dang, I'm going to just say my baby number just one time.
I remember, because, I was never locked up for that long. I want to say the longest was like a month. And, when I got out, I was more like, how the hell do people, beat me like that? Yeah, to me, it wasn't even real jail. Maybe that's why I didn't like it, because they say in jail sometimes you got a phone, you got TV. Now you got like freaking video calls if you're good, you know what I mean? No. So maybe that's why they don't see it as bad, but I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw a TikTok where a guy was broadcasting from jail.
Yeah, I'm telling Bill, they got everything, Bill.
I think that's good behavior, Bill.
No, they be sneaking the phones in there.
Really? But then, that's evidence, putting the video out there is evidence to get in trouble or get more time.
Yeah, but they do.
Well, to Daniel and Bill's point, I have an associate who is in contact or dating, I guess, somebody who's currently in prison. And I guess, I don't know if you have to be on good behavior or get to a certain status or whatever, but at this particular prison, let me say that, they provide you with iPads.
What? What?
iPads. Yeah, iPads. And essentially, according to my associate, I guess the person who's in prison has the iPad, and at a certain time at night or during the day, they call and video chat with each other on the iPad.
Like they give you minutes,
hotel,
right? Kind of like minutes.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that my associate has said that, such and such will call them, and they'll be able to have a video chat or a phone call, and it's not like you got to go into a room in a building. Essentially, they've given you an iPad to do all of that contacting.
Wow.
Well, I've been in contact with people who have secret phones in jail. So
Absolutely.
that's why I say that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if they have a secret phone, then they definitely can't broadcast on TikTok. Yeah, I just evidence against them, right?
I was gonna say they should be if they were smart, but the reality of it is there's been a lot. So I was on this date nap, right?
Oh my God.
Okay, come on.
Make sure it's PG-13, cause
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. But you know, I don't know if a lot of you guys know that like a lot of some of the dating app services now offer a live function, kind of like how we're live on here.
Yeah.
So you know the Tinders and the POFs and the tags and stuff like that. They offer a live function. And again, you know, you can go on live. I'm telling you, I've been on plenty of dating sites and clicked onto the live function, and literally there were prisoners in their cells going live. And of course, you know, when the guard would have to walk by, they have to hurry up and put the cell phone up underneath the pillow or hide it. But as crazy as it sounds, yeah, they shouldn't probably be doing it, but they don't.
They do it. Yeah, they do it.
Yeah, and Shanice is saying that, yeah, whenever you talk to somebody through video chat, you do have to pay for the time.
Yeah.
When they're,
Yeah,
But
even they gotta pay for emails and all too, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
and I think, what is it called? Like, Dom is saying, I feel, you know, those guys that are in those chats, they, you know, of course, they're not, what is it called? The people that are in good behavior, because I doubt they'll let you be in like dating sites because they know you could get people to do bad stuff for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So look.
Trustees.
The what?
trust me.
Trustees. They got those in jail.
So
They walk around.
y'all know when y'all get on live, right? Y'all know who the inmates are, right? They be them users, cause when they be at jail, they got on their shirt like inmate or whatever 91223. Them users be coming in your lives. After the lead, those be the inmates.
I don't know.
People are, you know, crazy out there.
That is the key point.
Not only that, but it's
So,
like,
yeah.
go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say my question would be I'm trying to get this in now is that what was the ending point for you Daniel, you Dre, that was like, yo, I'm done, man, I'm out of here, you know, enough is enough, I'm gonna do better things in life.
Well, for me, it was more like, you know, you see how other people end up, you know, like I said, getting shot, getting killed, deported, because of course I was part of a, you know, Mexican gang, so, you know, there were Hispanics and some of them weren't from here, you know, and of course, you know, some of them end up dead in jail or even getting deported, you know, while you're a teenager, while you're a kid, and of course, that's only going to affect your family. Who's going to take care of you over there or help you out with your family? Because believe it or not, I know we say, oh, you know, those are my homies and ride or die and all that stuff. I'm not saying they're all fake, but I would say 75% they probably are.
I just want to do better with my life, so, you know, I kind of got, you know, I kind of moved and, you know, I started a family, but I just want to do better with my life.
Respect. Thanks for answering. So back from commercial break.
No, I mean, like I said, I definitely think it's an issue. I definitely think that something needs to be done about it. Unfortunately, like I think Daniel and Dre both said, I don't know if Dre has stepped out or not at that point in time. It kind of makes me wonder if anything will ever be able to be done. But I don't know. I think collectively it's going to take everybody having to say enough is enough. We all need better. And unfortunately, until that happens, a lot of inner battles, a lot of, you know, civil war, for lack of a better phrase, is going to have to take place for people to recognize that this is definitely an issue that's taking place within the the country. But I guess to close it out, at least for my last question for Daniel and Dre, if somebody were standing in front of you right now contemplating either getting a gun for whatever the purpose is or joining a gang, what would your advice be to them?
That's a good one, bro.
Hey, good question.
My advice is leave both of them alone. I wouldn't do either one. You know, there's quicker ways to get money or to be accepted. You know, it's better ways, man. Easier ways that you won't end up either dead or in jail. Yeah. As far as the guns, man, I know the guns make you feel like you need them, but if you pick your spots, pick where you are, and keep your mouth closed and don't bother nobody, you wouldn't even need it. So that's like I said, I'll leave both alone.
All right, if I were to give somebody advice right now, I would say, you know, of course, being in a gang can never, you know, lead to nothing good. Not only that, but, you know, nowadays, you know, I feel the kids nowadays are a little more crazy. So back in the day, there was the respect of don't mess with family. And now I feel that Cody's gone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
And I feel even though like you're the only one part of the gang, technically you're putting your family in danger as well. But of course, when you're locked up, or you know, your homies forget about you, and the only ones that will be there, and you know that's only sometimes even you know the family. Of course, you know your family tries the best to be there for you, but it could be difficult, you know. Of course, especially if you're gonna do some real time in jail. But yeah, the gang doesn't lead you anywhere good. You know, look at me. You know, I lost my vision due to gangs. If it wasn't because of gangs, I wouldn't be blind. And you know, that's why I want to get out there and you know help people out. And of course, they can end up you know dead or ended up even in the wheelchair or blind. And I wouldn't want that for other family to experience. Well, what my family did.
Preach, my boy. Preach.
So, I think a good closing place, unless everybody else has anything that they want to throw in, is just to say, and you know, as always, when we talk about these things, whatever the topic is, you know, if it's health issues or just living, period. I've always said multiple times that I think each of these guys up here have a story to tell, and I think that in any way this story needs to be spread so that people can see that it's not just them and that they have an amazing perspective for those who are willing to listen. So again, if we didn't touch on something, or if you guys have a question or just need somebody to talk to, this is going out to the audience, I think that it is important to say that if you need to reach out to anybody, that, you know, I think all of these guys are willing to be able to say, okay, you know what, hit us up in the inbox. And if we can't help you, then we can definitely try to put you in contact with somebody who can. Because, you know, I don't think anybody should have to feel like they have no choice but to do blah, blah, blah. You know, there's always another way.
Amen. Speak on
it. But that's it for me, or whatever.
Or whatever.
You already know, man.
Anybody got questions before we go on? How many minutes we got, Daniel?
6.
6?
Oh, well, 6.
6 minutes.
Denzel, get up there and tell a joke.
Uh-oh.
I think the only weapon I'll continue to have is the baby rifle.
Oh my God.
The what?
The baby rifle.
The baby rifle.
The baby rifle. Think about it, y'all. Think about it to yourself.
No, I don't know.
Just leave it alone. I'll tell you at the house.
Yeah, to the house, cuz. To the house. To the house, cuz.
I can't believe Chris didn't get that one, but I'll tell you
the
that.
Baby, shit, yeah. Take me. Hey, add me Charlie at the house party, cuz.
Chris really lost.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm lost, cuz. The joke sound crazy. It sounds crazy with the name. So right now, like, I know it's gonna be something I know, but I don't know.
Laugh my butt off.
Who said that?
Janice and Velma said, "Thank you for sharing that."
No problem, baby.
Yo,
Hey,
welcome back.
come to the
No
Blind
problem,
Titans.
no
Y'all gonna learn and know things y'all want to know.
You guys got anything to say before we wrap up?
Bill,
Yes, sir.
you good?
I'm very good.
Denzel?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I said enough.
I think that was your cue to go ahead and bow out
I'm out.
gracefully.
Huh?
You got anything else to say?
No, no sir, no sir.
Trey?
Why you calling out a name like that?
I appreciate you listening. That's about it. Thank everybody for coming out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank
Daniel?
everybody for coming out. God bless and good night.
Yep.
Daniel?
Thank you for listening, and we out.
There you go.
Chris?
Yeah.
Oh.
Echo.
You know.
Resume play.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, Blind Titans out.